Alongside Mark Garofolo, Kyle Brandt joining us live from Sydney, Australia, and a special guest today to the virtual breakfast table, none other than Idris Elba. Welcome in, guys. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Stringer.
It's the other way around, but I appreciate it.
If you guys missed it, on yesterday's show, we did our celebrity doppelganger, and MJD said his was Idris Elba. So really impressive. You can make your own judgment on if you think that's accurate or not. But let's get to some football. It is time for the lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block. There we go. There we go. All right, y'all. There is a bona fide quarterback competition up in New England between Cam Newton and Mac Jones. So now that mini camps are all wrapped up, who has got the edge? Let's send it to our very own Mike Giardi, who has the latest on the Patriots quarterbacks.
For the first time in a long time, the Patriots had a rookie quarterback come into OTAs and mandatory minicamp and make a big impact. Mac Jones did not disappoint with that first-round status, showing the ability to be accurate in short to intermediate areas. But just as important, pick up the offense quickly. That playbook has been 20-plus years in the making, and Jones showed very little hesitation with it. So when one of his offensive teammates told me Mac sees the game the way offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels sees it, couldn't help but think we're going to have a real quarterback competition in New England come training camp in July. Now, of course, Cam Newton is the incumbent starter, but he had an uneven season last year. There were 3 or 4 high moments for him, big games, but overall, he lacked the consistency necessary, the consistency that the Patriots want from that position. Basically, he gave them average play. They need more than that. He's going to be in a tooth and nail fight with the rookie, Mac Jones, if he wants to maintain that job and show he has mastered that Josh McDaniels offense.
All right. Thank you, Mike Giardi, for that update. So you heard it here. Cam Newton is going to be the starter, but it is quote unquote tooth and nail fight. Guys, MJD, I want to start with you on this one. How long can Cam Newton hold off Mac Jones as the Patriots starting quarterback?
I think for sure the first year, when you talk about Cam's ability to run the ball in the red zone, that gave the Patriots something they've never had before, that 11th defender having to be able to defend Cam Newton. And so we saw them in Seattle where Cam took over the game. You've seen in other places where Cam is taking over the game with his legs. I thought last year it's kind of tough to say Cam played inconsistent when no one was out there. You really had no weapons out there for him. So Bill Belichick and the Patriots go out and spend a ton of money to get weapons. I think you'll see a better Cam Newton. I think not only this year will Cam be the guy, next year you'll see a true quarterback competition where Mac Jones will have a year under his belt, understand the offense, kind of what they're looking for, sitting back and learning, very similar to what Tom Brady did before he came in. And then you'll have your true quarterback competition next year.
I don't know. I think Maurice is more likely to get confused on the street as Idris Elba than Mac Jones is going to stop Cam Newton. We know that's not going to happen. I love you, Maurice, and I love Mac Jones. But listen, maybe it's because we're sitting here watching a quarterback, we're number 50 in camp in the summer. It's tough to envision that guy starting week 1. Giardi gets me fired up when he says tooth and nail and a battle and everything. I'll believe it when I see it. We have the advantage of knowing Bill Belichick's likes and dislikes. He does not mince words with those. And one of those very strong dislikes, I would even border on a hate, he doesn't like rookie quarterbacks. He doesn't like starting them. He doesn't like playing them. Let's take a look in Bill Belichick's long career. These are all the rookie quarterbacks to start under him in 416 regular season games. Jacoby Brissett on the left column, who only started because Tom Brady was suspended and Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt. And then Eric Zaire back in the 90s with the Browns, who went 1-3. That's it. That's it. Total combined 2-5 record. He doesn't do it. He's not the guy who starts rookie quarterbacks. He's the guy who beats rookie quarterbacks, who torments rookie quarterbacks, going all the way back to young guys like Ben Roethlisberger. Belichick picks them out of his teeth defensively. So Mac Jones may have it. He may not. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think the way this team is built in the offseason, bringing in tight ends, the running game, the line, that smells like Cam Newton to me. They did not go out and get Kenny Golladay and Corey Davis, guys who a pocket passer like Mac Jones can really thrive with. They got a couple of tight ends. They're going to run it down your throat. I think, in fact, I'll go this far as Garofolo. I think that Mac Jones, of the high-profile first-round rookie quarterbacks, I think he is the least likely of all of them to start week 1, and that includes Trey Lance in San Francisco, because Kyle Shanahan's little nuts. He might just say, this is my guy, and I'm going with him. I think Mac Jones is the least likely. I think this is Cam's job.
Show it to them. The aforementioned acquisitions for the New England Patriots this offseason. I agree with Kyle when you take a look at this list that you're not going to turn this over to Mac Jones. You're going to turn it over to Cam Newton. And I think that the general public and folks like us who are on TV talking about these things probably focused on the negatives with Cam Newton coming off last year and just some of the times. I mean, there was a terrible interception that we were showing in that B-roll.
Yeah, that was bad.
I believe Bill Belichick's looking more towards the positives, and he remembers that Jets game where, granted it was the Jets, but Cam Newton led a tremendous comeback in that game. Then there was the Buffalo game with the fumble at the end. I mean, he actually played well up until that point. Yes, the fumble wound up being the deciding factor there, but he played extremely well there. And the Seattle game where they had the last play there that just didn't work out the way that they would have hoped. But Belichick's saying, well, I got a guy on a full year without COVID to disrupt things for us in the middle of the season, and now I'm adding these weapons around him. I'm not turning it over to a rookie because everything they did this offseason was, we got to fix this thing, and we got to fix it right now. Because I don't know if you realize who won a Super Bowl down in Tampa last year. We've got to prove that it wasn't just about him. And if we can get this thing back on track and be a competitive team once again, I just don't see it. I agree with Kyle. I think Mac Jones takes 0 snaps this upcoming season.
Wow.
Ooh, 0 snaps. Okay, I don't know if I'll go with the 0, but I think if you look at the NFL, there's this huge rush to get these first-round quarterbacks into the league and starting to play from right away. Look to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. Now, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, a generational type of talent at the quarterback position, but he himself has even admitted it was incredibly beneficial for him to sit behind Alex Smith, to be able to learn the offense, to be able to adapt to the speed of the NFL before he got his start in the league. Obviously, that worked in Kansas City. I hope maybe that could be the case for Mac Jones down the line, but for now, I think we should push it on the Mac Jones talk. Focus on a healthy Cam Newton. Now, speaking of Cam Newton, we obviously understand his huge rushing upside. However, he did have career lows in passing touchdowns and yards per game last season. Obviously, there was COVID. They did not have the weapons like you guys just said. But how big of a leap can he make in year 2 in that Patriots offense?
Well, I think it's going to be a huge leap. For me, it was all about the weapons last year. You had 2 rookie tight ends. You had a bunch of guys opt out for COVID defensively. So he was fighting an uphill battle, and everyone understood that. And just like Mike G said, all we do is show the negative about Cam. We never show the positive, right? Look at how he led his team back. This is my baby he's thrown it to, by the way. Devin Asiasi, one of their rookie tight ends last year. Got a chance to coach him in high school. But Cam showed and flashed, but it was just hard to go out and make plays because some of the guys he was throwing to, they just weren't getting open. And so you give him an opportunity with weapons. You build the offense like everyone said, Kyle said, around him. I think Cam lights it up again this year.
Well, listen, we're going to find out really quick. And this is where, Mike, you and I think, disagree. I feel very strongly that it's Cam's job to start the season. I don't really think it's going to be a competition in camp. The question is, how long does he keep it? Can he keep it? We may very well see Mac Jones this season. I just don't think we'll see Mac Jones to start the year. And guys, this is like year 6 of us saying, can Cam bring the magic back? Is Cam back? And there's a lot of apologists and there's always a lot of explanations. And it's the shoulder and it's this injury and it's that injury. And last year, maybe he was affected by COVID. And look, maybe he was. Or maybe he just doesn't really have what he used to have. It reminds me of Shaq. When Shaq goes to the Heat and wins a title with D. Wade, but then he goes to the Suns, and then he went to the Heat, and then he went to the Celtics, and it was like, we're kind of just keep waiting on Shaq, and eventually he goes to the broadcast booth, and that's much better. I just don't know if we're ever going to see a whole season of Magic Cam going to an 11-win team, Cam running for 800 yards. I just don't know, because it's been over half a decade since we have. I hope all those excuses and all that stuff are validated this season. But man, it has been a long time since we've seen prime Cam for a whole season. I'm not holding my breath.
Listen, Kyle, 2015 Cam throwing off his back foot, throwing a rope off his back foot. He's gone. He's never coming back. He doesn't have that ability anymore after repeat shoulder injuries and surgeries. That's just not going to happen. But I would say that the Patriots are looking at this, and Belichick's looking at this, saying last year, and there was a point at some point midway through the season where when he had a full uninterrupted week of practice, he played really well and they won. And when he didn't, he played really poorly and they didn't win, because that's how much COVID was just messing things up and taking him out and, screwing the schedule, whether it was them or the team that they were playing against. It was completely disrupted. So that's why Belichick's saying, all right, in a year like this, where I can keep the schedule regular and he can get regular work, he's going to play better. But even Belichick knows we're not going to see 2015 Cam ever again.
Mike Giardi getting us fired up. Tooth and nail fight happening in New England between Mac Jones